out the other one. But seriously, take action. This is our greater call to action to get more subscribers so we can get more people fed alpha. What is up, Kris? How you been, brother?
Back at it again. Markets are in the gutter. Everybody's crying as usual. And hey, man, just business as usual. It's like how many times we've been through this, dude? Like 20 times, would you say? Like 20?
Enough to feel like you've been forged over and over in the fire. So definitely more than 20, I think, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. And to be honest with you, we do these weekly live streams. We do Monday and Thursday, and we come on, we do TA, we talk about our favorite projects. We like TINX, we like Ethereum, we like Pulse Chain. We're not these exclusive maxis. We're basically normal crypto traders like most people in this industry, except we just go and we cover new ecosystems that not many people talk about. And then you got the crazy community live streamers that I think most of you guys have interacted with. So I think the main point I'm trying to say with this live stream, our viewership's going to be down because not many people are paying attention to crypto because they see so many red candles. But also, we're going to make this live stream much more lucrative because we're going to talk about catalysts for Bitcoin very briefly. And then I'm going to tell you guys about potential plays that we're looking into. And these are projects that we haven't gotten into yet, but we're just keeping our eye on. We're not saying we're going to go like full into. And I'm going to talk about price targets and price levels and stuff. And then on top of that, tie next day 280, baby. So we'll briefly get into that and then talk about some charts, man. So I'm definitely excited. Now, let's just talk about Bitcoin specifically, because I see moon boys and I see really bearish people. And the really bearish people, I think what they're doing is engagement farming on X so that they can just get a bunch of views and say, hey, Bitcoin's going to $10,000 a coin and just piss everybody off. That's just how it usually goes. But the catalyst behind Bitcoin, there's going to be some factors that are going to come into play. One of the biggest factors people are talking about are interest rates. And if you guys don't know what interest rates are, I'm not going to go through every single little detail about it. But basically, interest rates determines how much money can the Federal Reserve lend out so that people can take loans out on their mortgages, cars, and everything. And the reason why this is used is to control the amount of dollars that go into the economy. So the theory behind Bitcoin and Ethereum is if interest rates are low, more money's out into the economy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's like a major catalyst, and that's what all these people are looking at. Now, this is where things get crazy because the question is, when does the Fed pivot? And this is something I haven't seen a lot of people talk about. They're saying we just want the interest rates to go down, but they never talk about why. When the Fed pivots, it's usually because of some catastrophe. Something economically happens. Something happens on the world stage. And I'm not going to go through world stage events and get a shadow ban on YouTube. But when people say pivot, interest rates pivot, that usually means something's going to be coming right around the corner that's going to impact our lives, because that's what happened in 2008. That's what happened in 2020. And there's a prediction this is going to happen in 2024, 2025. Trace Souls, any thoughts on that?
I do see some things in my studies of the real estate markets that are indicating to me that we are going to see a pivot in the interest rates. We may even see some money printing happening. We're going to see possibly a big flood of capital into the market next year. And so I'm very bullish for these sideways trading times right now, because this is offering us a chance to dollar cost average into altcoins, into Bitcoin, if that's your thing, and know that the future is going to be possibly controlled by, like what Kris said, maybe a very majorly cataclysmic event, and it may require the Fed to do what is necessary for crypto markets to skyrocket, along with other things as well. So I do see that coming. I've heard just from real estate studies as early as maybe March or May of next year is when they're really beginning to see a huge flow of capital into that market. So I would say that the crypto market might parallel that, and that's probably a really good time frame to look at.
Absolutely. And so that's option number one, interest rates. And then option number two, another one that not a lot of people are talking about, and this is going to get a lot of people exciting, the Bitcoin reserve. When our homie from last presidency, You guys know all who I'm talking about because YouTube hates it. Because every time we say it, YouTube like destroys us. He came on to the Bitcoin conference and he said there's going to be a Bitcoin reserve exclusively for the United States government. And he started off saying that they're not going to sell Bitcoin, and then on top of that, there's a potential strategy to buy more. And then you had another candidate say we're going to buy. I can't remember how much it was. It was like 550 bitcoins or 500,000 bitcoins. Now, when that happened, that actually put out a massive, massive signal to the other countries where they're going to try to front run the US and all these other countries to buy Bitcoin. And then I wouldn't be surprised to have any Ethereum strategic reserves. So another event that will be a catalyst is when the governments come in and they start buying this thing up like it's a bank account and just storing that sucker away. That will be also another catalyst, and that could potentially produce one of the craziest bull markets we have ever seen. So overall, that's our other thesis. And then so those are your two options right now. Now I'm just gonna be real with you guys when it comes to this crypto market and what me and Trey Souls do. Me and Trey Souls, we're like whacked out in the head. We do everything backwards. We're crazy. We're very obsessive when it comes to trading and anything we do. Some of you guys are just normal dudes just trying to make it in crypto or just trying to pull a little bit away to help out your families. There's nothing wrong with getting into this stuff and coming back in September, October, and then start paying attention to the market again. Because the amount of capitulation I've seen right now is so crazy. And I completely understand that, if you sit there on X every single day and you read all the stuff and it just goes through your head, it can really mess with somebody. Me and Trey Souls, man, we got a filter for that because we're already whacked down the head. Like he's a really good skateboarder and does crazy jump tricks off a half pipe. I surf 10-foot waves and on like a board that's like 5 feet long and 2 inches thick. So from that alone, you can kind of figure out who you're dealing with right now in this live stream. So any thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, man. I mean, like Kris said, I've seen people already today say they're gonna hop off of X for a little while. They're gonna go come back in a certain amount of time, and to to each his own. I think that this is where you find some of your best calls and some of your best plays when you dig it out in the trenches and you just listen and you take this time to maybe jump on opportunity that maybe is something that you wouldn't be seeing because you weren't here. So I think showing up is important, regardless. But I do think that what Kris is saying, him and I move a lot differently, and so it's you're not going to be expected to get the same results as the next guy or the next unit. We built this channel to be able to work as a unit so that crypto didn't feel like a one-man sport. So that's kind of my thoughts on the situation.
Absolutely. And on top of that, just put a notification on your phone when Bitcoin hits 100K. That's when you come back to start paying attention. Now, if you're crazy like us and you like to go for shiny objects and then you do the short-term trades and you just love chaos, well, I'm going to give you guys a little treat because we're going to talk about some altcoins that we potentially could be getting into and that we're targeting right now. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to draw some lines, talk to you about targets, why I'm shooting for this target and whatnot. And so this is going to be one of the beneficial parts of this live stream because we want to set you guys up with plays because when the markets are red like this is when we start going in and start max bidding and finding that next gem that could potentially be an absolute banger. So I'm going to come over here and just do a quick screen share. All right. Now we got Deck Screener right here. And the goal is to make a list of possible plays that we can get into. Now, if you guys have been paying attention to the market, you basically have a cheat sheet. You know what projects people like. And I'm not talking about the projects that go up by like, I don't know, 500% and then they go down to like a 50K market cap. The chances of those coins coming back are going to be very slim to none unless there's a major catalyst. But there are blue chip projects that we can look at and potentially get into. Now, there's one project I really like. It's on the Ton blockchain. If you guys have been following Ton, There's that Russian founder. What's his name? I got his name right here. It's like Peter.
The
No,
Telegram.
no. It's Nikola Durov. Nikola. So the founder of the Ton blockchain, Nikola, he created a phenomenal product. He also has 100 biological kids. He was a donor, believe it or not. That's actually pretty crazy. So, but
Only 100?
what's up?
You said only 100?
Only 100.
Dang, what a loser.
So he actually built the Ton blockchain, and I think the Ton blockchain is going to be a great play, especially for the Russian audience. And a lot of people are looking at projects built on this chain, and they absolutely been crushing it. Now, there's one coin that's absolutely been crushing it. It is a meme coin, and it took a gnarly dip since this project started. And the name of this project is Resistance Dog. Now, Resistance Dog was one of the first meme coins to pop up on the Ton blockchain. And in my opinion, this is going to be the number one meme coin on the Ton blockchain. Crash Clay absolutely loves it. A community formed. A lot of people love Resistance Dog. Now, right now, this thing's sitting at about $50 million market cap. Before it dropped, it was up at about 100 million. So the theory behind this play, before I get into magnets and talk about potential moves on this token, is that because Ton is such a great blockchain, if you go for the number one meme coin or the DEX or some sort of altcoin, it's a leverage play. So if Ton does really well and does like a 10 to 20x, a token like Resistance Dog could do anywhere between a 20x to 100x to even 1000x. That's the theory. And so if you think about this, if this thing got up to 500 million, that's a 10x. If it got up to 5 billion, that's a 100x. If it got up to 50 billion, and 50 billion is definitely within the realm of possibility depending on how well Ton does. Keep in mind, Shiba Inu got close to that in the last market on Ethereum. That would be 1,000x. So this gem, in my opinion, has anywhere between 100x to 1,000x potential from this market cap. Does that make sense?
Does make a lot of sense, man, and I like where it's sitting. I mean, what's it down from the top right now at a $50 million market cap? What is it sitting at from the top?
65%.
Okay, that's really not bad at all. And then how many holders does it? Can you see on deck screen or on for Ton or no?
No. Yeah, I think you have to go look on their block
I'll go look
store.
later.
So, yeah, absolutely. Now, here's what I'm seeing with Ton. So we got up to about, all right, so that's about 142 million. I believe I have like the token supply is about 100 million. Now, right here is a clear magnet, and it's sitting at about 34 million. So if this price were to continue to go sideways, and right now it's just trading sideways in a range, just right here. Now, if this thing were to come down and dip here to 34 million, I guarantee you it's going to be a massive wick that comes down, touches it, gets bought back up, and comes right back into this range. So, in my opinion, Resistance Dog is going to be a play anywhere around 34 million. Now, the worst case, keep in mind, the worst case, if it were to go lower than 34 million, which is within the realm possibility, the next place that it could potentially go is down to a $20 million market cap. So from there, we have what I call the box of opportunity. Anywhere between 20 million to a $34 million market cap, Resistance Dog is definitely going to be a play. Now, keep in mind, with how we're doing this strategy, we're not necessarily getting into it. We're waiting for the opportunity. And if the opportunity doesn't arise, because we already have plays on tops of plays on tops of plays, then we just move on and just call it good. This is just our thinking on how we get into some of these projects. We don't necessarily scope one out and force a trade. We look for an opportunity, and based off that opportunity, we capitalize on it. So based off of that, Resistance Dog definitely a play coming in between that $34 million market cap. Any thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things we look at when going into, picking out meme coins, but like Kris was saying, we spend quite a bit of time sometimes looking at things. We're not always often getting in on day one or way before the very first run up. It happens sometimes. Sometimes we do get in way before the first run up, which is just part of being part of the game. If you're here long enough, you're going to get into some of those. But yeah, we spend quite a bit of time looking at these, charting these out, discussing them, following their communities and seeing how they work and if they got potential to do something well. So this one's got a lot of great affiliations and seems like a pretty solid chart, if you ask me, on the monthly. That looked awesome.
Yeah, well, let me look at the monthly. Yeah, monthly's not bad. I mean, we came up, bearish engulfing candle, and then we just opened up. So what would be great is if we can get like a little small doji right here, or come up just a little bit, and then just start moving. So overall, oh wow, we just lost Trey. All right, well he'll be back. So yeah, man. So overall, your first project, Resistance Dog on the Ton blockchain, is definitely going to be a great play. Now, the next token that I want to talk about. So you guys have probably been following Ethereum. You know about the Pepe narrative, you know about the bird dogs, you know about all of these other different types of tokens. Now, another token that I'm paying very special attention to, it plays into the Pepe verse. It also has been a really common token on 4chan. And I'm not going to talk too much about 4chan because YouTube absolutely does not like it when we do that. But this token I've been eyeing for a little bit. I actually knew about it, and I can't believe I didn't get into it at the time when I right before I saw it. And the name of this token is Bobo. So Bobo is another blue chip gem, and I'm personally not in this project right now, but this thing has absolutely crushed it. And now that we are seeing a lot of red in the market and a lot of hits and a lot of craziness, this might be the opportunity to get in because depending on how August performs, and we'll take a look at the Bitcoin price chart in a second, there's a good chance that Bobo will be a potential absolute runner right next to Pepe. So, just taking a look at this chart already. Actually, no. Let's go back out. So Pepe was sitting. There he is. What's up, buddy? You good?
Dude, it just kicked me out, man. It just kicked me out. Sorry, man.
You good, bro?
You talking
You
about
good?
Bobo and this nice dip? Okay, go ahead.
Did you want to finish your thought, or you want to talk about Bobo?
No, go. You're in Bobo. Go ahead, man. Let's keep running it.
Cool. So, I was saying earlier, Bobo plays into the Pepe verse. This is an Ethereum meme coin. Now, oh yeah, this is a big key part. Believe it or not, Bobo is actually a much more popular meme coin than Pepe, which is absolutely crazy and blew my mind. I had no idea until I started like researching and whatnot. So Bobo is actually like a much more popular meme in comparison to Pepe, and that's why so many people are bullish on it. So right now it's sitting at a $70 million market cap. 2x, so that would be about 150. Yeah, so this thing almost got close to 200 million and sitting at 71 million. So in my opinion, I think Bobo is going to be a sleeper. I think not a lot of people are talking about it, and I haven't really seen many of the big guys shilling it on X on Twitter. I keep confusing X and Twitter, whatever. So just looking at the overall price dynamic and some entries coming in. I don't know why I got this arrow right here. We definitely had a little bit of correction. Some magnets that I'm looking at right now. So we just touched this magnet at 6 zeros and a 9.3. And then there's also a pretty clear magnet down. I would probably just put like right here. A clear magnet right here. So we did touch right here, and it did come back up just a little bit. So honestly, there's a good chance that we might need to come back down, retest this, and then maybe we go into this box of opportunity. I don't think we're gonna go this low, and I think this puts it at about, was that a $30 million market cap if we could drop down? Yeah, so I'm trying to think. That will probably put us, yeah, right around a $30 million market cap if we go that low. So, in my opinion, between a $30 million market cap and that would probably be about 60. So $30 to $60 million market cap is going to be your box of opportunity behind Bobo. I personally think Bobo could hit anywhere between 10, well, I'll say 1 billion to $50 billion is what I'm thinking. Just based off of the meme, based off of how this thing absolutely crushed it and explode, and just based off of the community forming around behind it. But the real question is, will we get a great entry, and is that entry going to be worth it? And in my opinion, if it were to go to that $50 billion valuation, I would probably want to go in and try to get an entry somewhere between, 40, 50 million. What's your thoughts?
I had no idea that Bobo was more popular than Pepe. Where'd you see that at? Where'd you learn that?
It was on Twitter. So a lot of the fortune guys were saying that Bobo is actually a more popular meme than Pepe, and it was actually used much more frequently. I wasn't a big fortune guy. Sometimes I would get on there just to look at like conspiracies and stuff, and sometimes people put stuff up there. But way back in the day, dude, like that form got pretty crazy. So that's when so I only went on like a couple times, and then because it was so crazy, I just avoided. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it was notorious for some wild stuff, bro. But dude, I don't know what happened. We just had 10 people in here and then it jumped to 36. So I don't know what the deal is, what we're talking about that's making this thing go so haywire. But if you just jumped in here, thank you for joining. We appreciate you guys. We're gonna go for about another 37 minutes. So we're gonna go about a little bit longer on altcoins, and then we'll jump into some other things. But yeah, if you're here, just smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. We're doing greater calls to action so we can get this information and these streams spread out to more people as we're streaming straight to Twitter, straight to YouTube.
appreciate it. Yeah. So overall, man, I do think Resistance Dog and Bobo are going to be some great gyms to just take a quick eye at and consider getting into. And keep in mind, I would not get into every single one of these coins. This is our watch list. This is like our Christmas list. This is what we're asking for Santa. And typically, when you ask for Christmas presents from Santa, you don't get every single present. But nowadays, these kids get whatever they want, so it's a little bit different. But when we grew up, that wasn't the case. So just
Dude,
is
that
what
was
it
the
is.
best analogy for crypto right there. Like, yeah, that is the best way to put this, bro. Like, you can hope and wish for all of these things, but keep those box of opportunities, keep those charts, refer back to these live streams, and look at these price targets. Go ahead, get that information, get that alpha, and if those things pop down in there and you got a little dry powder, you know what I'm saying? Not financial advice, man, not at all. But hey, it's pretty good stuff.
Cool. Awesome. All right. And then the other thing we need to talk about some Titan X. You guys love Titan X. I love Titan X. Trey loves Titan X. We've got a big
That's
day. Go ahead.
go no, 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 go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead. You said big day?
Yeah, we got a big day coming up. Day 280, baby. So we got to talk about some things about Titan X on day 280.
Wait, so does that mean that automatically when the clock strikes midnight on day 280 that this the price does like a 20,000x immediately, like the minute the clock strikes midnight?
Listen, 20,000x, that's FUD. We're talking a trillion X. Nah, I'm just kidding.
A trillion X
That was a
at
joke.
midnight tonight, 9 hours.
Trillion.
Let's go. Okay,
And
thank you. That's what I thought.
yeah. By the way, guys, we were just joking. It's not gonna go up 20,000x over midnight. I know most of you guys get that, but it's just for the guys that want to like troll us and clip our videos and stuff and just be idiots. So now let's talk about what's going on with Titan X. Now we finally bottomed out here, and I put a Titan X bottom, and this could be a bottom confirmation, but we need to wait for day 280 because I don't know how day 280 is going to perform. And I'm not going to sit here and just be a moon boy and say, oh, we're going to 20,000x like Trey Souls was just doing. Just kidding. But the point I'm trying to say is on this day right here, we're going to get 90% of the supply minted out, which means people have the option hold their Titan X, use the protocols, or just sell. Now, based off of history, when we have a huge influx of supply coming into the market like this, there's a good chance that we're probably going to see some price fluctuations. We'll probably see some dips, and then we'll start to level out. Now, this is where we're going to get into a great opportunity with Tinex, because this is going to be your third altcoin that we're looking at this market downturn, which also so happens to have a huge token supply release. And I'll tell you why that's a good thing in a minute, because you guys are probably like, oh, well, why do you think the token supply release is such a good thing? Well, we'll talk about that. So there's going to be a series of scenarios, and to chart out Tinex, it's very difficult with a supply just constantly hitting the market. But chances are it might do something like this, come back down and try to find some sort of bottom. And then once it starts to stabilize after a week or so, it's going to trade sideways. And then we're going to start to see the buy and burn come in, and then the price level come up, and then hyper kicks in and whatnot. Now, I want to keep drawing stuff. Now, within this opportunity here that I'm showing you guys right here, this little line that I just drew right here, this is going to be a great opportunity to buy liquid Tinex when it has its highest inflation, because from here on out, from day 280, the amount of Tinex that's minted out into the market is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller over time. So in my opinion, right now, that's going to be a great opportunity to get in and get a decent sized bag, because from here on out, the amount of tokens to hit the market is going to be a lot less. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, based on what happens on day 280, and when we start to see this nice little arc, I don't know how low this is going to go. These things are very difficult to predict. That's going to be the best time to do it. Now, I also so happen to draw this at the right time, because when I think this thing is going to start arcing up, is going to be closer to that Hyper ETH Vortex release. Now, when Hyper releases its ETH, it's going to buy Titan X, swap it into Hyper, and burn Hyper. There's going to be another Titan X introduced, and I believe that thing was sitting at close to $1 million. So that's going to start on September 19th. And then if I recall, on the 15th, I believe on the 15th, we also have another right here. This is going to be the second highest Tinex inflation event. So I don't know what to call this, but I'll just say like something like second highest Tinex claim or something. I'll go back and fix it. So we're going to get more supply to hit the market right here. And then from there, we're going to see the supply cater off drastically. So in my opinion, from somewhere from this weekend, which is Sunday, when you can actually go claim your miners, all the way up to September 15th is going to be a great opportunity. Now, on top of that, I also want to throw some other things. Blaze has the bonfire, which is going to come in and burn a bunch of Tinex. They also have the Inferno token, which is a meme token, which you can use with your Tinex tokens. And then on Tinex day 369, we're going to have the Dragon X have a benevolent staking well where it's going to receive a bunch of Ethereum to buy Tinex. And it's also going to be the same for the Helios miner. So we have a couple catalysts coming into play that are going to support Tinex coming from here on out. So overall, man, that's our third gem that we're taking a look at. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, I think the day 280 just makes everything real juicy. And even in the fact that, just to, I guess, prior to the daily, that's sitting on the daily candle right now. So prior to the daily candle, we're seeing 4 red days. If we see more red days after 280, I think that's awesome. And that's the point that Kris is trying to get across, is that's exactly what the chart looks like when we're like foaming at the mouth, getting ready to get in. And so after that explanation and breakdown, just want to reiterate right there, between day 280 and that September 15th mark is literally going to be your absolute best opportunity in the next part of the history of Titan. So that opportunity is a pretty short window.
Yeah. And I'm gonna bring this up, and we gotta keep it moving because we gotta get to charts and stuff. And we gave you three tokens that we're looking at. But I just want to point this out on the Tinex community dashboard. So actually, I'll let that point out. We'll talk about the future supply coming up. Now, the one thing I also want to point out with Tinex, and this is like a key to really understanding this protocol, is the supply coming out into the future and why this is so important. So we come over here to the calculator. We can take a look at how much Tinex mining is profitable. It's sitting at about 85%. The reason why this is important is because not many people are making Tinex miners, which means there's not that many tokens being minted into the foreseeable future. Now, it's a catch-22 because that's happening, less Tinex is going to be minted out into the future, but also there's going to be less Ethereum to burn Titan X. Now, the key to really understanding this is when Tinex miners become profitable, the amount of Tinex that they can produce is going to be exponentially lower. So in my opinion, when we start to see the Tinex miners break even, that's also going to be an indicator that, hey, Tinex is hitting hyper deflationary. So that's just like one little indicator of many indicators you can look at. But I think that's going to be the main thing that you need to be paying attention to, especially going in the foreseeable future, because these miners get more expensive and they produce less Tinex. And so by the time that happens, it's probably going to be a couple weeks or months into the future, and we will see the impacts. Now, I guess this thing just doesn't. Okay, it's not opening up. Now, let's just take a look at the supply. Here you go, baby. There we go. So right here, August 3rd, we get 11 trillion. That Monday, 4 trillion. And then the day after that, right around 2 trillion. And then the following day, 428 billion right there. So when this comes through, we're going to see a huge supply. And then the next day we got to pay attention to is 9/15. 9/15. We're going to have about another 3 trillion get minted on that day. And then after that, I would say after October 5th, as of right now, we probably won't see any more days where we get 1 trillion Tinex tokens minted on a single day, potentially. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's just saying that these windows of opportunity are coming really slowly or really close, and they're small windows. And it's especially important with the point that you made about the miners not producing much ETH out into the future. So this is going to be huge for early adopters.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be used for early adopters. And I think when this supply gets out, we'll have a little bit of a sell-off and there'll be fluctuations potentially. And then once it starts to slowly sell out, then we get up to about 9/15, and then that's when things are going to rock and roll. But yeah, but basically, dude, from I would say August 6th to August 22nd, it's a dead zone. And I don't know if you remember those first couple of days when we were in Tinex, and then right after that, nobody really talked about it because they were trying to figure out what it was. And then all of a sudden, everybody started talking about it. Well, you can see in this chart, like everybody's like Tinex, 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 and then the Pulse Chain maxi clowns came in and started attacking it for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody talked about it, and then boom, everybody started talking about it. And then this 9/15 was when people saw what was being created, and they max mined on this day. And just from this day to this day, you can already see the difference just right off the bat. And then after that, we got some more miners, and then everything started to settle down and slowly steep down. So that's basically what's being created here. And I'm excited because next Monday or next Thursday, is that Thursday? I'm pretty sure that's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, we come back here next Thursday. On this chart, this line is going to be a lot bigger, and you can actually see the chart going down like this. So it's going to be a completely brand new chart. Same with this one. Oh, wait, not this one. Same with this chart as well. So when this comes down, you're going to see a chart closer to what we see here on the exponential supply. We're slowly just going down like that. So yeah, man, overall, dude, I don't want to harp on this too much, but You get the point. Ty next. It's gonna be a great play. Any final thoughts until we move on to the
Yeah.
actual charts?
Oh, dude, it is just exciting stuff, and I like that you say that's like a dead zone. It's like a calm before the storm, and then you said rock and roll, and I just this is too funny right here. An actual rock said that you
Oh,
said rock and roll, so I thought that was hilarious.
dude. I think that's the that's the Bitcoin rock guys. Oh, bro, I love rock. That's my favorite what's it called? Satoshi
I
play,
mean,
dude. Yo, shout to rock community, dude. You
yeah,
know what? Just for that, dude. All right. I'm gonna bring up a
had to throw
chart.
that one up there. That was pretty exciting.
You know, just for that, man, we gotta bring up the chart. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no doubt about it. I like that. You're getting
XTX.
you're getting an extra banger today, folks.
We usually do not talk about this many projects. All right, so shout out to the rock community, and this is one that we've actually been in for a minute. Um, let's check it out. Let's see if we can get it up. I don't know if it's gonna let me bring up the chart. So Rock is a meme coin on the Stacks blockchain. I don't know if it's coming up. And basically, what Rock revolves around is like a Bitcoin rock. It's like the pet rock of Bitcoin. And so, in my opinion, this narrative behind this project is pretty awesome. Here, let me get rid of this so it goes away. And I do firmly believe that Stacks is probably one of the most slept on layer 2 blockchains. We'll call it blockchain for this example. And based on what I'm seeing on Stacks, there's a huge community forming, especially with these meme coins, and there's a potential for a meme coin run. I know we haven't really talked about Stacks that much. Welsh is a great play, but in my opinion, I think Rock is really great. The development team behind Rock is extremely ambitious. They have been putting the work, marketing, really great guys. So yeah, man, that's one of our Stacks plays that we're in. Any thoughts on Rock?
Apparently, we're bringing up all the memes that predate the other memes because you said Bobo was older than Pepe, but I'm almost positive Rock is older than both of these guys. I think it's almost one of the very first, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm incorrect, but I think that's where we were at on that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is actually one of the first memes on here. Let me pull up the X.com. I'll pull up the was it? I believe it was Rock Stacks. Here you go. Yeah, so this is the guy, man. Shout out to him. I love this project. Really great guys. But yeah, basically I think they are the first meme for anything Bitcoin related. I'm trying to go on the Bitcoin Ordinals podcast or the Ordinals Revolution and like talk about these projects. So it's really cool. So cool. All right. Well, we gave you guys a shill. Shout out to Rock. Great guys. Good stuff. So um awesome. Now let's talk
Right,
about
that's perfect, dude. Right at 40 minutes. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
you good. Now let's talk about the Bitcoin price chart real quick and talk about what's going on. Now we had the monthly close. Now, with the monthly close, basically we had the interest rates in the Federal Reserve meeting, and then next thing you know, we have a little bit of a dip. Now, I'm going to talk about this dip specifically because this is going to be extremely important when it comes to the price action coming on in August. So, this candle that we see over here, and I got to make sure I pronounce it correctly because I have it right here. It's called the bullish spinning top. I got some notes just in case. So, it's called the bullish spinning top candle. Now, when you see a candle like this, especially on the monthly, that indicates that there's going to be potentially some bullish times. So, in my opinion, that monthly close wasn't that bad. Everybody was freaking out, saying, "Oh my gosh, that was awful," yada yada. But because it's a bullish spinning top, that means that we could suspect some positive price action on future monthly candles. That makes sense.
Yeah. So what indicators are you looking at that makes it be called the spinning top, the bullish spinning top?
All right, so you see how you have this green green body, like a thick green body right here.
Yeah. And then
And then
two
you have a
wicks,
wick, but these are massive wicks. It's called a
massive
spinning top.
wicks.
So
Okay.
so basically what happened was it came down, went lower, touch, came up, touch, but then it closed. When it closed on that candle, it closed out a little bit higher. So it spins. It's a spinning top. It just
Okay.
spins.
Got it. Thank you for that clarity.
So with it being a spinning top, that means it's going to be bullish. And so this is what I'm seeing on the price charts and some indicators for the monthly close. Now, what I want to see for this next month, and we're on day 1, and this is just a forecast for this monthly candle. I would love for this candle to come up here and just touch the top right here. And if we get a beautiful green candle, and then the next month we get another green candle, that could potentially form something what I call a advance. Oh no, wait, hold on. Excuse me. Make sure I got the right name. Let me pull up the right name. That would be called a 3 white soldiers. So it'd be great if we have one green candle here, another green candle here, and then another green candle here. That would be called the 3 white soldiers. And if we see the 3 white soldiers pop up, we're going into the parabolic phase of this market. And that's when I get really, really excited. So that's when altcoin, that could be another indicator of altcoin season. So overall, man, I think the monthly close looks phenomenal. Any thoughts on monthly close?
Yeah. So is that just one? That's just one scenario. Thinking about going forward. With the three, you said 3 white soldiers.
Yes. So it'll be so we got a green candle right here, another green candle right here of August. And then if September's a green candle and we start breaking all times high, those 3 little candles, that's called 3 white soldiers. Boom.
Got
That's
it.
one scenario.
Got it. Got it. So
Now,
yeah, that's nice to know already. Getting started right on the right foot, August 1st, and hope to just start climbing up that little stair step. Nice.
yeah, so we got that. So the scenario is we came up, come back down here, touch here. Now also, well, actually we'll go in the Bears case on a lower time frame, but overall monthly looks good. Got the spinning top. All right, so this is where things get interesting. When we're looking at when we're looking at the weekly, and this is where I get a little cautious. And we're just looking at candles right now, and then we'll look at magnets and stuff. So if you look at these 3 ascending candles right here, 1, 2, 3, this is called an advance block, and it's a 3 candlestick trading pattern where you have one candle and then another bigger candle, and then you have a smaller candle. It can be a doji or it can be a little bit bigger, but ultimately these candles slowly decrease in size. What's happening is as the buy pressure goes up, there's a lot more sell pressure, and it's basically decreasing the size of these candles. That means it's going to be very bearish for the following candle. So that's called the. Make sure I had to write these down because my memory's terrible. But it's called the advance block. Advance block. So that's scenario number 1. On top of that, with this weekly close, so it's going to be a little bit bearish. Now, also keep in mind we have a green candle right here, a doji, and then a red candle. If this candle closes out more than 50% of this candle right here, so what's this? 68. This is about 60, so 64. So if we close out lower than I would say about 65, 64, that would be an evening star. That would be extremely bearish. And I'm saying we will go lower if it's an evening star. So as for scenarios for what happens here, what I want to see on the weekly specifically, I would love for the weekly to either do something like just come up and just be a green candle, or don't close out more than 50% off of this big green candle from the top, because if that happens, there's very well a good chance that we will come down and test 53K. That is a yeah, because I'm telling you, man, when you see the advanced block and then turn into an evening star, that's not good. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be
Right,
mean.
and that means that the monthly's gonna be wrecked on August, and then there goes the 3 white soldiers.
Yeah. Or that's true. The three white soldiers be out of the way, but it could be just a massive week because this is just a weekly. Keep in mind, this is just the weekly. So there's
Right,
4 weeks in the
right.
month, right? Right.
Yeah, it could
So
just be one of the weeks. I got you.
gotcha. So and keep in mind, we still got a couple more days in this week. So that's why I'm saying with this closeout, we don't want to go below 65 or 64K or close below 64, 65K. Like we can go down to like 61K, but on like a Friday, and then come back up here and close out on a 67K. We'll be good to go. You see what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
concerned about where this thing closes out because then that'll
Yep,
give me a heart attack. So
yep.
overall, man, it's not bad. So that's the bearish case. If that scenario happens, we'll definitely have to come down here and touch 53K. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I think what we're going to do is we're going to trade in between 61K, and then we're going to trade between 61 and 71K for the rest of the month. And then as we get closer into that fall time frame, that's when we'll probably start reaching that up and go scenario. But yeah, but man, overall, man, it does seem bearish. We're looking at some indicators. And then let me talk about the bullish. So the bullish is if we have like a closeout that's not more than 50%, there's a good chance that we could come up the following week and start either testing all-time highs or just keep trading sideways. So that's the bullish case, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, let's just get through this bearish sentiment this week.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, after seeing the advanced block and then the evening star, that kind of scares me a little bit. So now looking on the daily time frame, and I don't want to go too far down on the daily time frame. We do have an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So on the daily time frame, it actually looks pretty bullish. So based off of this target, I don't know if we still have the target of this breakout. Is that the target right there? Maybe we go up this way. Yeah, so we'll probably just come up and test the all-time highs. So if we come back up and we start hitting about 68K on the daily time frame, there's a good chance that we could come up and test out the all-time highs. So I think what I'm trying to say is, the monthly looks extremely bullish. The daily looks bullish. The weekly looks a little sketchy. So overall, I think I'm tending to be a little bit more bullish now based off of the 3 time frames we looked at because you want to compare all time frames and then proceed from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like it, man. It makes kind of an interesting story for every week and month. So yeah, I like breaking it down, looking at all the time frames, seeing where we're really at.
Yeah, so it's good. And then also, the one thing I will say is we did come down here and we did test 62K, which is right at the magnet I put in right here, 62K. And so now we're coming back up. So that testing of 62K, it's that could be also a great indicator that this is bullish. It's okay when you test lower time frames like that, I mean lower magnets like that, and you come back up, nothing wrong with that because what that tells me is we're coming back down, we test the bottom, now we test the high, we test the bottom, we test the high. And with that consolidation, that means we're going to get a crazy pump to the upside when it happens. So overall, man, it actually looks pretty good and definitely do really like it. Let me take one more look at the weekly.
Man, and all of crypto Twitter would not be crying if they were watching this live stream right now. They'd be getting bullish, baby. They'd be getting amped up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, we stay bullish, dude. So cool. Now, the other thing I will say that I am actually no, we'll leave that for another live stream. I don't want to say that. But yeah, man, overall, man, uh price looks good. It just looks like it's trading sideways. And the last thing I want to say on the monthly candles, you see how these candles start off really, really big and they're just getting smaller.
Sellers are getting exhausted.
Exactly. So that's another thing I'm also looking at with that monthly close because with the monthly close, you gotta look at it and be like, okay, what's going on in the past? So because those candles are getting much smaller, sooner or later we're gonna have a pop to the upside, whether it happens in September or October. Now, Moving on, let's talk about Bitcoin dominance, baby. My favorite thing. I love Bitcoin dominance.
Oh shoot! Oh my
So,
goodness! Let's go.
100 monthly moving average. Look at this, baby. So we're actually, it's actually looking pretty green on the monthly, and we're coming back up. We're coming back into oh god, it's like a pizza, or man, why can I never remember this trading pattern? Is it a I guess you can
You
call
call it
it
a pizza. You called it a pizza, man, or a wedge.
a wedge. That's what I was looking for, a wedge. All right, well, pizza or wedge, whatever you want to call it. I prefer calling it a wedge, but it is technically called a pizza formation. But ultimately, what's happening is it's trading inside of this, and we're waiting for this 100 monthly moving average to come in and collide with this, and then boom, altcoin season, and we all get Bugattis. I'm just kidding, but you guys get the point. So we came back down, tested out of it, came back in. And it's just faking you guys out. It's coming up here, and everyone's saying altcoin season, altcoin season, altcoin season, and then as it breaks down, it fakes you out and then comes right back up, just like it did on this monthly. So I think the main point I'm trying to get across is just take a look at this. I'm waiting for this little red line to enter into our pizza and or wedge, whatever you call it. I'll call this a bacon pizza, because actually no, I don't like pork. Let's call it pepperoni pizza. Pepperoni is pretty dope. So
I think pepperoni's also pork, but you know what?
is it oh, is it really? Oh man, I completely messed that up. Oh wow, I just realized I'm an idiot.
Maybe
Okay.
sausage.
Uh, isn't that pork
Sausage.
too?
Yes.
Sausage is pork, right?
Yes. Pretty
All
much
right,
every tubed meat. A chicken pizza with bacon and no.
let's do pineapple pizza. Wait, no, there's
All
ham on
right.
that. No, there's ham on pineapple. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
So we're going to this pizza right here, and so we start trading across, and then once we touch, boom, it's going to be a breakdown. Now let's just take a look at the weekly time frame. So just taking a look at this weekly time frame, we had a couple of candles come out, and I had about, it's like one, two, boom, and it looked like it was breaking down. Then boom, right back in, and then boom, break down, and then it's coming back out again. So you can already tell when it comes to altcoin season, the market maker is showing, or the double M, but we'll call it the market maker. I think the market maker sounds cooler. The market maker is trying to fake you out, and then he's saying, we're breaking down, boom, altcoin season, ready to go, and then it's just going right back up. So ultimately, we're not in altcoin season yet. When we hit the 100 monthly moving average, then it'll be all systems go. And ultimately, it's looking pretty good. Any thoughts on that, man?
I'm so glad you pulled up the 400 because I wanted to look at it again and see how many times it's been faking you out, and it just makes sense. We got to keep going up into that wedge and hit that red line on that 100 monthly, just a better average, and it's this chart right here, go. I swear, this thing gets
Yeah.
me amped up about crypto. But you know what? It looks like we see a little dominance drop today with this news, but that makes me
Well,
think we're
this
just gonna pop right back up with some more bullish news later in the week.
Well, yeah, this is the weekly, so it is Thursday, so we're about halfway through, so anything can happen. As we get closer to that Sunday close, that's gonna be interesting, because if it's up here, then what this is gonna tell me is we're gonna keep trading into this wedge until we get closer to altcoin season. So this close is important on the weekly, especially for Bitcoin dominance, because it'll just verify that the 100 monthly moving average controls in this scenario. So, all
Beautiful.
right, cool. Let's just take a look at Ethereum, and then yeah, we got a little time left. Let's just take a look at the monthly close on Ethereum, and then because I know you guys skedaddle out. All right, so what's going on with Ethereum? Oh, this is very interesting right here. So we have a very big green candle, and then another one, and then boom, bearish call, and then bullish engulfing candle, followed by another red candle, and then we got this red candle, and then we got a third one forming. Now, here's something interesting about these three little red candles. that are actually forming right now. And I want to make sure I get the correct one. So if next month we have a little, if we, let's say we just trade sideways and we just close out just a little bit below right there, that candle pattern is actually going to be called 3 stars in the south. So it has one big red candle, a smaller one, and then a very, very small doji / red candle. 3 stars in the south. These are tri-candle trading patterns. What that means is sellers are being severely exhausted, and the next month or the next candle is going to be a massive explosion. Keep in mind, this is the monthly, and we just started the month like literally today. So anything can happen at this point. That's very speculative. But that is a scenario, which means if in August we don't see much action behind Ethereum, but that formation forms, I guarantee you September is going to be absolutely bonkers when it comes to the Ethereum price performance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. That almost looks like an inverse of the other pattern you were looking at that was going upwards that indicated bearishness. Now this one's inverse and indicating possible bullishness.
You
So
get
I
it.
like the 3 candle patterns, man. That's some new hot, hot spit alpha, baby, on the burst right there. You're only gonna get it here. Nobody else is talking about this on any other channels.
Yes, sir. So that's a really great trading pattern to look at, but keep in mind, the third candle has to be formed, and this is the monthly, so anything can happen on the monthly. I'm just saying that that is a scenario. Now, basically, what I'm seeing on the monthly, just like we're seeing on Bitcoin, we got one big green, another green, bearish engulfing candle, green candle, bearish candle, bearish candle. But the thing I'm noticing is these candles are getting smaller. So it's basically getting ready for another move. On top of that, we're also seeing a little bit of a flag. But ultimately, the main point I'm trying to say is when it comes to this next month for Ethereum, what do I want to see? I would love to see this candle just come up and just engulf and do a bullish engulfing candle and just engulf this entire candle, because that'll also be another indicator that Ethereum's going to absolutely rip. So you got 3 scenarios: a small little red candle or a bullish engulfing candle, and that's going to indicate that Ethereum is going to have a bullish September. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Now let's just take a look at the weekly and see what's going on the weekly. So we're just trading sideways between 28. Man, I got so many lines here. This, bro, I'm so glad I'm not colorblind, because I would be going crazy right now. All right, so basically on the weekly, what I'm seeing is we came back down, boom, candle came up, boom, engulfed that candle, and now we're seeing another red candle and then another red candle, and then we're actually seeing a potential 3 stars in the south formation forming if we have that pattern form right here. So overall, what I'm seeing on the weekly is we got a massive flag just coming across right here and just trading sideways and waiting for a breakout. And so this is just a bull flag, boom, sideways, boom, sideways, boom. And as these candles continue to get slower and consolidate, that means we're going to get a massive push to the outsides sooner or later once the sellers are officially exhausted. So I think right now in the weekly, Ethereum's looking really good. As for this weekly close, where I would love to see this thing do is come up here and get closer to 34K. And then from there, we can come up, test 35K. And if we hit 35K, we're definitely going to come up here and hit that 4K mark. So overall, man, it's looking pretty good. And the one thing I will say with Ethereum, since we're getting to this news cycles, if we get up to that 4K mark, expect a news event. 4K Ethereum, expect a news event, positive or negative. If it's positive, Ethereum's going to break all-time highs. Something about changing the world or whatever. If it's negative, it's going to go to the very bottom end of this range. And we've seen this happen time and time with Bitcoin. So something you should definitely look out for, especially coming into the markets. Just like we saw with these candles coming right here, and then boom, news event. So cool. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and look at that, man. The last time this was happening, we were there with you every step of the way. We were telling you to buy all coins, not financial advice wise, But we did talk about altcoins at this. What was that? How much more of a drop to the very bottom of 26? Yeah, so we gave you guys a lot of heads up. We're there with you every step of the way, and
Yeah.
that's the sacrifice that we make. But I just had a kind of an emergency, man. It's a big sell event. It's a big sell event. It's a sell signal. My dad's in this stream right now. Shout out, Dad. What's up? Love you, man. But now I'm scared. I really feel like I probably should sell everything.
That's funny. That's funny. I love it. Shout out to Trent's dad, man. Good to see you, man. So right here, this was when the Ethereum ETF was announced, and then green candle, boom, and then right here, Mount Gox FUD, red, 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 and then boom, 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 and then right here, a certain something happened to a certain someone. I'm not going to say to get a shadow ban. Boom, up right here. So I'm telling you, 4K news event. Something's gonna pop off that, and if it's bullish news event, then that's when you want to start max bidding on ETH alts. If it's bearish, then I would just sit on the sideline and I don't know, buy some more stuff. Not financial advice. All right, cool. Yeah, so I know we're at the hour mark. Let's just talk
Yeah,
about.
if you want to go on to something else, man, I can spend a little more time, man.
No, that's good, man. Let's just talk about 2 or 3 altcoins, and we'll be good to go. I know we were talking about introducing a potential altcoin, but since we had a watch list and the Rock Bitcoin come out and put a comment, it just is what it is. I think we give enough altcoins for today. Now, we'll see what's going on with Scrolly right now in this market downturn. So I have a feeling a lot of these projects are going to be extremely well. The charts are going to look good because of what's going on with Bitcoin, but I'm just curious to just take a look at their monthly close. So I really want to focus on the monthly close and just look at that before looking at daily or something like that. So wow, look at this. Look at this pattern right here. So Scrolly, a beautiful green candle, another massive green candle, red, red. I believe these are called tweezers. Then we had a doji at the bottom, bullish engulfing candle. And then look, this pattern right here is looking very similar to this pattern right here. So if Scrolly does a similar pattern for the month of August where it just closes down just a little bit or whatnot, I guarantee you September, doji, October, boom, parabolic exponential rise. And that's just looking at the past patterns. But overall, that was a healthy monthly correction. We closed a little less than 50%. So I mean, dude, scrolling the monthly, dude, it looks absolutely awesome. This is probably the best looking altcoin on its monthly chart right now that I've seen. What do you think?
Yeah, I just love the monthly breakdown, how it's so simplistic, and you can really sit there and compare the first few months to the last few months, and see that this thing is really just a few months away from taking off possibly to where we're talking about in some of those price predictions up there. And nice to know this. They have it's 10 million or 10,000 holders at about a $2 million market cap. This thing's got wheels, man. It's definitely got the potential.
Yeah. So monthly on Scrolly looks good. I'm gonna take a small look at the weekly. Yeah. So we have well, let me just do the full. So we do have an ascending triangle and it's breaking out here. So what I see in the weekly is I want to see this come back up here in this triangle. And then as soon as it gets closer to this tip, that's typically when you see a breakout and then boom. So yeah, man, Scrolly looks good on the monthly. Let's take a look at Omikami on the monthly. So Omikami, they had the box of opportunity, and then a whale actually sold right here. A whale. Wow, look at that wick, dude. That thing wicked down to what was that? 16 million dollar market cap. That's crazy. All right. So the monthly close of this project. Wow. Holy smokes. All right. All right. So here's the thing about Omikami that I'm gonna put this out right now. And this is why the monthly time frame is extremely important. So if you guys see my lines right here, they fall very closely to what's going on the monthly. So we have a top right here, and then we have another magnet right here, and then we have a magnet up here. That close came down and tested this magnet right here, and then we had a test of this magnet earlier. So the main reason why I'm starting to be really bullish on Omikami is if all those magnets are tested and it starts moving to the upside, that means there's not going to be any sort of sellers that sold the top or bought a bottom or whatnot that's going to be holding it back. And so when you have all magnets tested, it's more likely to run pretty quickly. If that makes sense.
Yeah, less resistance.
Less resistance. That's the word I was looking for. So we have less resistance on the monthly. So yeah, actually, I think Omikami's chart's a little bit better than Scrolly on the monthly. So I take that back. Omikami's number 1, and then Scrolly's number 2 on the monthly chart. So it's looking pretty good.
And that's why we're sharing these here with you guys today.
All right, and then let's do one more. Between this, what are you thinking? We can either do Andy, Bear, or Crash. Which one do you think?
Yeah, let's just rock with Andy.
All right, Andy. So Andy, let's just look at the monthly. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. All right, so green candle, boom, and then we had a red candle, and then we have, I believe that's called a shooting star. No, that's not a shooting star. That's a let me look at my cheat sheet real quick, because I do have a cheat sheet with this one. I believe, yeah, that is a shooting star. Okay. So we had a shooting star right here, and then we actually got a massive green candle off of that shooting star. Shooting stars are extremely bullish. If you see a shooting star, you run for the hills. You run. Now, we have a bullish engulfing candle, and then now we have another red candle. So what I'm seeing here is we get green, red, red, green, red, and then curious to see how this one plays out. So overall, what I see happening with Andy is it's trading sideways, and then it's waiting for its parabolic move to the upside. So it's getting ready for its wave 3. And so on the monthly, you're seeing a massive consolidation, and it's just doing its thing. So overall, man, I like what I'm seeing with Andy on the monthly. Let's take a look at the weekly. So weekly, we came up, boom, boom, formed a little bit of a cup, came down, failed to break into that handle, and now we're breaking down, and we're trading at 13 cents, and we're trading between 7 cents. So between 7 and 13, it's going to be your box of opportunity. And that's part of the reason, and part of the reason of that is because of what's going on in the market and everything slowing down. So yeah, man, definitely does look good.
That's kind of why I want to talk about that, because I knew it was trading probably close to about 13 cents right now.
Yeah.
12 cents right now. So yeah, sitting in a nice opportunity. A box opportunity.
Yeah, so this thing tested a lot of the magnets on the monthly and on the weekly. So what I would love for this thing to do, especially on the weekly, is come up, touch 17, might get a little bit of a correction, and then come up, test 33. And then after we test 33 and 17, we come up here and we test 42. Once we test out 42, it's going to be all system go, and I like to see it just W on out. So, yeah, man. So, cool, brother. Well, that's all I got for today. You got anything else?
Yeah, that's what I got. We had to cut it short, a little bit short today, guys. Sorry, it's my fault. I got to move out of this place. So I got moving that I got to do. It can't be holding up much longer, but I appreciate you all for being in here today. If you have not yet, please smash that like button, hit the subscribe and the share button. And I don't know if Kristen got anything else for you, but I'm out. Peace, guys.
Yes, sir. And like I said, guys, I love every single one of you guys. Don't get so emotional in these market times. Now's the time to make the moves. And hey, man, it's a great weekend. If you're not getting into plays, go outside, play, have fun, touch grass, go to the bar. You know, just do something. Just don't sit at home and stare at a screen if nothing's moving. So cool. All right, guys. See you guys in the next one.